Okay, so anyways, welcome to A-Push. You are now in a really fun class that I'm really excited to be able to teach you about. So we're going to go ahead and get started today. We don't have a ton of time, but next class is going to be where we actually learn stuff. Today it's just going to be a basic overview, making sure you're aware of the class. Oh, it's tracking, sorry. I forgot to turn it off. Don't worry. I just wanted to say hi to all of you. Okay. Anyways, so first off, what to do when you guys get to class. So as you guys come into the door, you're going to notice a couple of things. First off, right over there where it says AP US History, that is your guys' materials for this class. Now, those materials that are over there are what you grab every single day as you come into class. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice of how you guys would get it. So what I'm going to have you guys do is you're going to go up, get all the materials that are over there. Hold on just a second. I will grab more of these really quick. But grab everything over here. If you don't get a little slip of paper, I'm going to go print some out right now, okay? So go ahead and go right over there. Grab your stuff.
We don't have our IDs with us.
So you'll
just tell them our student number or something?
Yes, but they will put you to the back of the line and they'll give you a little lecture of
have your ID with you
exactly.
Always.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Remember, once you get it, go ahead and go sit back down. If you don't get the little slip of paper, it's okay.
Papers here now.
Huh?
They're out of blue papers over there.
Okay, that's fine.
Is the reward for David dead or alive?
Well, if you notice at the bottom, it does say no reward actually given. But David's in here almost every day, so he turns himself in all the time.
Oh, okay.
Okay, raise your hand if you did not get a little slip of paper like this. Great. Let me pass this back to him real quick. You pass this back to them. Yep. Okay, at this point, you still need one? Did you not? Pass this one back. Did everybody else get one? Okay, great. We'll talk about this in just a second of why you need this. This will be your first homework assignment in the class, but we'll go over it in just a minute. So, once you get all of your papers that are from over here, did everybody get a blue sheet? No? This is what happens when you guys are the last class. Okay, if you didn't get a blue sheet, raise your hand. That was underestimated. The problem is I have way bigger classes than I did last year, so kind of messed up. I might run out. Will you two chat with me after class and I'll print you one out? I just ran out. Okay. Don't worry. I'll make sure that you get one. It's just, they put my classes at, normally my classes are 35 students and all my classes are at 44 right now. So I just messed up the numbers a little bit. Okay, anyway, so as you guys come in, if you are ever late or absent, from class, over here in this black bin, you'll see that there are 2 slots for A-Push. The bottom slot is last class period's materials. So if you were just gone the last day before, then all you have to do is grab out that material from the bottom. Okay? Now the middle is going to have all the other assignments or papers for this class. So this just becomes your go-to stop in case you just happen to not be here the day before or whatever it could possibly be. I know a lot of teachers say, don't ever ask me what you missed, or go on Canvas or whatever it could possibly be. In my class, if you ever have a question, you just have to come ask me, and I'll be perfectly fine to tell you what you missed or something like that. Are you doing okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. So other than that, I just want to introduce you to me just a little bit so that we can kind of get to know each other. You guys are my Quietus A-Push class so far. So I'm excited for you to be able to talk a little bit and get to know me. So maybe once I put this stuff up, you'll feel like you can talk to me. Because I think I'm fun to talk to. But anyways, so a little bit about myself. So over the summer, things that I did, I went to New York for 3 weeks, which is the left one. I got to fly a seaplane over New York State. I went for 3 weeks to learn about AP US history and how to teach you guys to be able to be better at your work. So I'm excited about that. I went backpacking. I go backpacking all the time. Probably, camping maybe 6 times every summer. But then probably the number one thing that I did all summer long is every night I played about 5 hours of Fortnite every single night and got really, really good. So if you ever want to talk to me about Fortnite, apparently kids are intimidated by my solo wins and stuff. You don't have to be intimidated. It's okay. If you got 5 over the summer, that's all right. That's really close to my 100. But you did a great job. Yeah, I have way more wins on duos and squads because I played that more. But whenever I need challenges done, I would always do solos because they would never get their challenges done quick enough for me. So, anyways, they tried, but I had stuff to do. So, anyways, if you ever want to talk to me about video games or Fortnite, I don't have as much time now because I have a job or something that I have to do. So I don't have as much time as I used to have, but I'm sure we can still talk about it once you guys get to the new level of this one. But anyways, so yeah, come chat with me about video games. I do love them. Other than that, other cool things. So this is my family. This is my husband. His name's Mark. He's really shy. So if you ever meet him, be nice to him because he's really, really shy and introverted, but he's great. And this is my dog named Maverick. He's a therapy dog and also a hunting dog, and he's really adorable. So if I just put pictures of my dog up, that's why. It's because he's cute, and I thought you guys should see him. This is my family except her. She's not dead. She's just not there anymore. The reason why is because she was a foreign exchange student from France, and now just replaced this with a guy from Italy. So they have a new foreign exchange student. It's a guy. So it's not her anymore, but that's basically my family. But they're in Idaho, so you guys won't get to see them very much. So one thing, I love Disney. It's a big passion of mine. I actually used to work at Walt Disney World, so if you want to talk to me about how you can go work at Disney World, I'll tell you all about it. But I really love Disney. I'm saving up for the 50th anniversary of Disney World, so if you want to talk to me about that too, that'd be cool. I also really love the outdoors. Does anybody hunt or go outside ever? Oh, good. Some of you have been outside. Okay. Yeah, I asked this one kid, and he said, I probably go outside 4 hours a day, or 4 hours every week. So if you like outside or Vientas or anything like that, that's for me. I love hunting, so I think you were the one person who said you hunt. Apparently nobody at this school hunts, I've discovered, but hey, if you ever decide you want to hunt, come chat with me. I'll chat with you. Anyways, sports. This is my biggest passion. I love sports. I've played every sport internationally, from cheerleading to soccer to tennis to softball. I've pretty much done it all. I absolutely love sports. I met my husband at a sporting event. So if you ever really want to talk to me about any of the latest sports or the latest gossip about trades and things like that, come chat with me because it's one of my big passions. Also I coach a softball team, which I don't think anybody in here is on the softball team. But hey, if you want to join, we're looking for people. You would love to? Great. There might be some issues with that. But if you want to come join, ask my head coach. There's this thing. I don't know. That's a whole big conversation. But come join us. It'll be fun. Any questions for me? I'm a pretty open book. You can ask me anything. This is your chance to get to know me. What? Yes.
Of all the sports you played, which one is
the biggest one for me?
No, that is not my question. Which one is the most obscure that you've played?
I don't know about. I don't know. In PE in 4th grade, they did this like stick dance thing that they taught us. Did you guys' PEs do that, where you had to jump? I don't know. I would say the coolest, as in the most odd, was. So I'm a huge soccer fan. My husband's really into soccer, and I've played soccer with students in Germany. And I've also played with a bunch of kids pick up soccer in Jamaica. I'd say that was the most unique. I don't know about odd. The stick thing was weird, but I thought I was cool at it. And then the floppy parachute. I don't know if that's a sport. Yeah.
Which sport do you think was the most physically challenging?
The sport I had to work the hardest at is basketball, because I'm short and not skilled at basketball. That was hard. I'd say I worked the hardest at softball because I was the best at that. Because I played varsity and I was a varsity letterman and state champion and stuff. Horseback riding I probably put the most time in, because I've been horseback riding since I was 4 and competing since I was 6. Any more questions? Okay, cool. Yeah?
Have you ever played rugby?
Okay. Here's the thing about rugby. So when I was in middle school, my middle school PE teacher was on the he used to be on the national rugby team. So he was really into it, and so 90% of our class was rugby. And then on the last day, somebody shattered their leg playing rugby, and I've never gone back. But I have watched a lot of rugby, because a lot of students invite me to their rugby matches. Yeah?
Have you ever played polo?
Polo? No, because I competed in equestrian events rather than polo as a sport. And so I did jumping, form competitions. Polo you have to have a special horse for, and I had a basic horse. You had to have thoroughbreds and fancy horses, expensive horses for polo. Anybody else? Okay. Cool. Well, if any of you feels more comfortable whenever talk to me or ask me questions, then great. That would be awesome. So, little pet peeves. Good news. You guys are the first class that I've ever had so far this year that has not done one of my pet peeves today. Yay! You guys are so good. You guys haven't bugged me yet. That's so awesome. So I'm just going to go over a couple of the little class rules and just a brief overview of basically how you can be able to work easily in class. Now, AP, I expect you guys a little bit better on the behavior scale simply because you guys are in a college level class. So a couple things. Number 1 is cell phones. Now, I know you guys love your cell phones, and you love having it right there, and if you don't have it within 10 seconds, it's a problem. I don't know if you know, the World Health Organization has cell phone addiction now as an official disease across the world. So I understand that you need your cell phone. Now, the problem is that I want you to picture in your head somebody, and don't say it out loud, please, because we don't want to embarrass you, especially if they're in this room, but somebody you've always wanted to go on a date with. And you've always wanted it your whole life. Again, don't say it out loud because it could be really embarrassing for you. We had somebody earlier today actually say it out loud and they were in the class. Don't be that person. But anyways, so imagine in your head and you finally get to go on a date with them and you sit down and all they do is play on their cell phone and all you can see is a screen on their face. And if you haven't been on a date like that, just wait till college when still people don't know how to date well. And I'm sure that you will go on one of those. But here's the thing, is I've been waiting 8 years to meet you guys. I love my classes, and it's very difficult for me when 90% of the time you're on your cell phones, okay? So I feel like we should just kind of make it a little bit of agreement, although today, obviously, I'm bad because I don't have my freaking clock. But after today, we can just keep it apart. But I also understand that if you don't know, a new study came out of Cambridge that said 1 in 3 high schoolers don't know how to read a clock. Yeah, that's new. So, the little hands ones, last year I had to teach 6 kids how to read it. So, what that means is I understand, I'm used to it. I'm walking along, I'll sit there, oh, there's the time, okay, put it away. I get that. The reason that I say this is because if you keep your cell phone in the top right corner or whatever, you occasionally press it to check the time. I get that, I understand that, that's not a problem. But there's a difference between that and Snapchat, right? You're probably not Snapchatting yourself to figure out the time, right? Now, the other one, and this is a little bit more serious, is I also understand you guys have a life outside of this class, and you actually have problems that are going on that you might want to know about while you're in class. So, for example, I had a student last year who came into class. I could tell she was upset, couldn't figure out what was wrong, and she said that her mom went into labor and went into emergency surgery. They weren't sure if she was going to live or not. But with the cell phone policy, she hadn't been able to text her for an hour and a half, and she didn't know if she was alive or not. Okay? Those are kind of things that if you come and talk to me about, I don't mind you being on your cell phone in an emergency. Okay? I've had kids whose dad got into a wreck on their way to school. Their brother's coming home from a mission, and they want to stay updated. Just talk to me. It's called communication. Right? If you talk to me, I'll usually okay it, but you're probably not Snapchatting your mom in the hospital. Right? A selfie of yourself or the ceiling, which is apparently really popular to Snapchat. Okay? So, can we make an agreement on that a little bit? Yeah? Okay, great. So, next thing is talking. Now, you guys are already talking to me more than you did 10 minutes ago. That's exciting. 2 things about talking is 1, just make sure you're talking about things that are important and effective for the class. But 2, just make sure you do talk to me as a teacher. I'll ask questions. Please talk to me. It's nice when people talk to me. It also makes the class not so boring. We do a lot of activities where we talk to each other, and when 2 people stare at each other, nothing gets done. And I've seen that happen before where they just stare at each other. It's really awkward. Okay? So make sure talking good both ways. Food or drinks. Now, this one's really important for 3rd period. Now, you guys think somehow that your lunch is like an hour and a half long. And so you guys go off campus, and you go to all these cool places, and you run out of time to eat. Now, I also understand that some of you have dietary things where maybe your blood sugar gets too low, and it makes you feel sick, or maybe you just missed lunch for whatever reason and you need a snack. My rule is that if it's small, easy to put away, and it's not going to make a mess or a loud noise, I'm okay if you have it in your bags or on your desk. Like, for instance, oh, you're already grabbing it out. Sweet, he's a good example. So if you just need a little bit of something that's not loud, okay, there we go. Then I'm okay with it. See, that's small. It's probably, unless it gets hot in here, not going to melt everywhere. So that's okay. But, and this is very important because it just happened to be in 3B last year that this happened in. This student who sat in your desk right there, so I'm sorry, you're the one that gets picked on. So I had a student A, that decided to take this a little too far. So one day he came in with 20 wings from Buffalo Wild Wings, like the spicy ones, and brought them in. Okay? Then on another day, he brought in a giant burrito. We're talking like this big. Had on his desk. It had like oozing out of the side. And one day he just decided to go for it and brought an entire buffet. And it took up like 6 desks. Okay? So there's a difference between a small snack and, actually bringing in a small item like that could be easily snacked upon. Does that make sense? So, and by the way, he was not allowed to eat those. Don't think if you do that, I'll let you get away with it. But he just liked to push my buttons. He was a great student. He just loved to be weird. Anyways. Okay. So, tardies. And this one's going to be a big one in this class. Luckily, only 2 of you were tardy today. My last 3B, or 3A, which is also an AP class, was, something like 7 tardies yesterday for AP. Tardies mostly happen from people who leave campus. Just understand that in an AP class, you could miss something really small, and that could be your essay, your big essay for the exam, or the one thing that you forgot to learn about in class. So just make sure you're on time and you arrive here. Headphones. This is the one class that hasn't had somebody have headphones in. Awesome. It's very difficult for you to be able to hear me and like your Justin Bieber music on your cell phone, okay? So just understand too that I do know that earpods exist. I'm a smart teacher, which means I can figure out if you're listening on that and have your hair covering it. So just know that headphones, don't have them. A lot of students will bring them in a bag in case we have individual work time, but just understand that when I'm lecturing, I don't want headphones in, okay? Also, you tend to fall asleep when you have headphones in. So, taking notes in APUSH. We're about to leave for our textbooks. But anyway, so taking notes in APUSH. I print out for you every day all of the notes that you will have for that class. The reason why is because last year on my first day, we had like the 82-minute lecture. I would say 60 minutes of it were students taking notes. I felt like that was too long and I was wasting my time. So instead, I take all the notes from the PowerPoints or whatever we're going to do, and I print them off for you. Now, what most students do is they'll take a pen or highlighters or something along those lines, and they will sit there and they'll make notes on it. That's perfectly okay. I know some students like Cornell notes, and they love taking their own notes. That's totally up to you. But for me, I'll print them out for you, and they do have a little special surprise, which you'll learn next class, which is one of my students' favorite things. But you'll see that next class, I promise. But that's totally up to you of what you prefer. Also, as I said before, all of my stuff is online. So if you miss something, it's always available online. So this is for students who like have to leave early for sports or something along those lines. Cool? All right. Really quickly before we get going. So if you'll grab your disclosure and go to the third page on the top. So what you see right here are your grading categories. This is how you're going to be graded into my class. Now, one thing I do want to note is if you've never taken an AP class before or you don't know about the College Board, according to the College Board where it says the accountability disclosure, if you don't know, according to the College Board, we're supposed to give you at minimum per class 5 hours of homework per week and 2 hours of textbook reading per day. I'm not sure if you know that, but that's what the College Board tells me is how you learn. If we could keep a secret, can we not do that? Because that seems like a lot of time, especially for those of you with 5 AP classes. You probably don't want 5 hours of homework per AP class, okay? So most of my homework will be anywhere between 30 and 45 minutes over the 2-day time period of the block. So it's not a lot, but you will have homework in this class. Homework is typically the one that makes or breaks somebody's grade. If you do homework and you try, but you fail every single quiz and test, you will get a 77% in this class, or better. If you don't do the homework, that's when you get into the Ds. I can guarantee every D I've given in my AP classes was because the students said that they didn't want to do homework or they just refused to, which I have had students say that they don't want to do homework. And if that's you, then okay, you just know that your grade's going to get down for that, okay? So, what you're going to be graded on in my class. Now, this first assignment will be explained later. This is called the Not So Typical Essay Assignment. Basically, you get to pick whatever your passion is, and you get to answer a question based on that passion. So I've had video games get created from this, videos, graphic design, 3D printing, poems. Whatever you're passionate about, you get to show me in your class. And when we get to there, you'll see it. I've never had a student not turn this in because you do get to do whatever you want on it. And we'll explain that when we get there. Homework assignments, again, the only reason you should ever not get this is if you either forget to do it, so you are busy putting really little effort, maybe 1 or 2 sentences, you get marked down for that. But really, if you do the homework, you're probably going to get full points for it. In-class activities. Each day we'll usually do some sort of an activity, a primary source analysis, something along those lines, and that'll be what that grade is for. Again, if you show up to class, I feel like you should be rewarded for it. So if you work in class, you get points, 10% of your grade. Quarter projects, I'm going to give you 3 weeks to kind of get into school again before I introduce these. Every quarter we'll have some sort of a project. They're usually pretty fun in my opinion. I don't know. Quizzes, there'll be 2 per unit. They're 20-question quizzes with essays attached to each of them. These quizzes tend to show you whether or not you're learning or not in my class, and they really well prepare you for the exams at the end of each unit. Essays, which if you don't know, you're going to have to write in this class. 40% of your test grade on the AP exam is essays. So make sure you know that you're going to be writing a lot. And then, of course, your tests, which are going to be your exams at the end of each unit. Can I have 2 volunteers, by the way? 1, 2. Perfect. Can you guys go down to the library and grab our textbooks for us? This is what it looks like. Okay. We need 42. So if you grab 42 of them. And we'll be down in like 7 minutes. Thanks. Okay. While they're trying to go get the textbooks ready and things like that, we're just going to keep going on a little bit. Extra credit. I will give out extra credit. Normally towards the end of the quarter when you guys start to panic over your grades, I'll give extra credit. There's extra credit opportunities on every quiz and every test. So you will have opportunities to get that extra credit. All the tests are curved as well. So if you get a 50% on the test, don't worry, your curve will go up. I guess we'll have to start this because they're gone. So important places for you and your parents. If you will go to the front page of your disclosure. On the top right, there's going to be a little box that says connect with our class. This is going to be your chance to pull out your phone and you're going to connect with our class. So if you want to grab out your phone, again, not Snapchat, okay? Okay, not Snapchat, but we're going to go through some places that'll be important for you. So, number 1 is Instagram. What happened is that last year we had a ton of students who were really good at memes. And they sent me about 20 memes per day from our class. And what happened is this grew into a giant Instagram thing where we had 30 or so Instagram accounts for our class. And there was memes it was insane. So what we decided to do this year is we have our own class Instagram page, which if you want to like it and you want to follow it, you can. Basically, if you ever have a meme, an assignment that you're proud of, anything that you want to go online and show off, you can send it to me and I'll put it on our class Instagram page. So this is a great way for you to be able to see memes. I'll also post reminders about tests and everything like that. Instagram is the #1 social media site for you guys in your age group. So we're going to play to that. Once you guys start learning, you'll probably want to play with it a little bit more, okay? Next thing is Remind. I would sign up for Remind right now because if not, you're going to forget it. So what is Remind? Remind was the first thing that my students last year said that they wanted in this class. Basically, I will always send you something that reminds you of assignments, quizzes, tests, due dates, anything along those lines, I will put through Remind as well as Canvas. If you don't know, you can just text that short code number and it'll say Ray APUSH and that'll automatically sign you up. There's a Remind app. You can go to remind.com. Anything along those lines, I already had to send one out because there's an error on your little sheet that I'll tell you about later. But just let you know that's what that's for. Okay, YouTube. Who knows why we would have a class YouTube page? You've already learned it.
Say robot.
Just say robot. No. Okay, no. But robots. Remember our robot? Yeah? Everybody already forgot? He's over there. Okay. By the way, our robot does get named. We'll have a naming contest in about a week. Last year's winners were Tupac, Wally, and this one, I will tell you, my students hated it. They voted for it because they thought nobody else would, and then it became the name. So it was called Leg. That was your guys' class period last year. So just be aware, if you nominate a weird name and you vote for it, it might actually become the name. It became a whole thing. But anyway, so think about the name for that. But our class YouTube page is probably the most important thing I want you to subscribe to right now. And the reason why is this. Let's say pretend that you're late, or you were gone one day, or your parent pulls you for class for, some orthodontist appointment, and you have a test coming up that you need to know stuff about. You're going to want to know this YouTube page so that you know how to access the videos. Right now, our Wi-Fi is not connecting, so it doesn't have the slides next to it. But normally, you'd have slide and the video, and then you'd be able to watch our entire lecture online. This is extremely helpful if you get sick. We had a student last year that got mono. She was out for a month and a half. This was the month and a half right before the AP exam, and she got a 5 because she watched every lecture online. This is something that's going to be really helpful for you. The one thing I will tell you, though, is I'll never put something online that would embarrass you as a student. So, for example, we had a situation last year where we had a student that all of a sudden passed out in her chair and she was on the ground practically seizing. Okay? That student probably wouldn't want the video of her seizing online, right? So I wouldn't put that online. We had a kid trip and fall, and they didn't get hurt, but they were really embarrassed. If something ever happens that you don't feel comfortable with it being online, just let me know. Again, the video will mostly just be of the screen, but just let me know if there's any problems, okay? Cool? All right. We're going to do a couple more, and then we'll go. So, Quizlet. Quizlet is going to be your number one source for studying. Last year, my students said that it was the most helpful thing that they were able to use for my class. So Quizlet, if you don't know, it's a flashcard website. I have put all the flashcards online for you for every quiz and test. What that means is that you will be able to go online, pull up the app, and you'll just be able to scroll through vocab, key essential questions, essay prompts. My students last year, 90% said this was the number one site that they used for studying for a quiz or a test. And I've already put those all online for you, but we'll go over that later when we get to it. Last thing is Canvas. Everything is available online on Canvas. That includes all assignments, due dates, all of that stuff is online. So just make sure you go there if you need any help. Everyone okay? All right, so we are going to go